Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another thrilling instalment of Newcastle United's #1 podcast. Allegedly. That gets out of all sorts of trouble.
Oh man, that's going to get with some belters. I can't believe
Who's better? Name one Newcastle United podcast that's better. No, there isn't any. Simple as that.
We're the best.
Hello. Welcome.
Self-proclaimed best. Shit.
Well, every bugger else bloody promotes themselves left, right and centre, don't they?
Fake news.
I mean, it's not like we go and have a flag with Always Smiling Faces podcast and pass it along the Gallowgate. Oh, did I say that?
Yet.
Coming soon, Lisa's flags. They're all sponsored by...
No promotion everywhere. We're running Lisa's flags, but no, we're not. No one would trust us with flags.
Lisa's shots. Not to be confused with Lisa's flags.
I get that one.
So, anyway, we're back. It hasn't been long, has it?
Just a week.
A week?
Just a week.
One whole week has passed under the bridge.
We're a weekly podcast these days.
Yeah, I know. We're so popular. The football, I mean, not us. Well, obviously.
It's because things are going good, so we feel as if we've got to talk about it even more.
That's
though we talk about it every single day with each other, with people at work.
People
It's the
just
first
love to
question I
talk.
get asked as soon as I walk in the door. What do you think of Saturday?
Oh,
It's literally the
great.
first thing I get.
Like after the match, I go and tell her. She's not interested. Like, I just talk at her.
My ass is exactly the same.
What did you think about the match on Saturday?
Oh, that shit, like, but like I told her it was shit. Man.
It was diabolically bad,
man.
wasn't it?
It's you don't even know where to start. Right, well, last game was.
Crystal Palace.
Well, I've been saying Stoke for the last
No, that
hour.
that was like the last home game. That was 2 games ago
I know,
because we
but
played
like-
Southampton
you
between
mean-
that.
Oh, sorry, right.
I was
You
in
mean
the
the last
house.
home game?
I was in the house getting stuff prepared for this for once. I never ever get stuff prepared. So I thought, I'll print a few things off. I start searching for Newcastle v Stoke, and it comes up Newcastle 2, Stoke 1. I went, I didn't win 2-1, like, and I was absolutely myself.
We did.
Nah, they definitely didn't score.
We definitely did.
I was like, eh? Then all of a sudden the light bulb went off. I went,
Was it
that's
blue?
why I thought it was boring.
Was it blue and flashing? That's probably the
My
problem.
light bulb isn't a light bulb anymore. It's a police siren.
The game was so bad that you've wiped it from your memory.
Oh, that's exactly what it is.
That and the 27 pints we had after the game, that helped ease the blow somewhat.
And the sick ball. I'll turn my phone on silent.
I was going to say, what was that?
It was Mrs. P.
Mrs. Speed.
Right, so we played Crystal Palace.
We did. Well done.
Roy
You got that
Hodgson's
right.
defensive team came to St James's Park to play
Defensive
Rafa.
team.
Oh, 100%.
Anyways.
Rafa Benitez. I've got a lift up. Rafa Benitez started the same team as what he started against Southampton.
Yes, I was somewhat surprised, I must say.
Yeah, I was.
Is that just because we're thinking of Merino again?
Oh yeah, I was expecting Merino to be back in the team.
I think the only change in the full squad was Gale was dropped and
he
Gale
was
was injured.
Mitrovic
And Mitrovic
came on the bench,
came on
didn't
the bench.
Yeah.
Oh, did he?
Hey, that's what she
I
said.
was touching him. It
Yeah,
always
I mean-
goes sexual. Like, how long have we recorded? Like 2 minutes and it's gone sexual
Who
already.
do you think would have been touching him on the bench? Can you remember who was on?
Is he
Modi Army,
Darlow.
Darlow,
Touch, I like.
Too lazy.
Clark was on there.
I've still got Cabela.
Nah, he's long gone.
He's a toucher though, isn't he?
Allegedly.
He'd be in the crowd with that rainbow flag, wouldn't he?
Aye, probably.
I think probably Clark's the most effeminate if that was on the bench.
Sure, I do love that remark.
You know, when you look around that bench, I mean, that way you've got Mitrovic,
I reckon Darlow 100%.
Darlow. He's got
100%.
big hands, I bet.
He's got hands.
Goalkeeper.
He's good with
How
his
did we get in the
hands.
conversation of feminine looking players?
You, because you said something about coming on the bench.
But I didn't say who was touching. Oh, did I say that? I probably did say that.
You saw guessing, man. You thought Modi Army and all sorts.
This is why we're getting into so much trouble.
It's him.
It's a good job we've got that blue light in it.
I don't think it does anything that blue light, you know.
It does, it warns we. After the event.
It's like the bat light.
The smut light.
The what?
The smut light.
The smut light.
Yep.
You're a
It should be red.
like the red light is.
Exactly.
So we're just
got Amanda here.
like the red. Oh, Amanda's here.
Amanda, I've got Amanda here.
Yeah, she.
Should we listen to this podcast, maybe watching it? We have to be careful.
Deka's Borshe Given's autobiography. He's crying on the mirror on the way home.
Yeah, the first chapter's tough.
Shay,
It's
good
tough.
bit of promotion here for you. If you want to maybe send me and Kris a copy.
Was that your Guinness?
And some
Good read on the first chapter.
potatoes.
His dad was a
Potato
a
grower.
potato investigator
Investigate.
in the whole of
You
Ireland.
investigate potatoes.
He had to test like the quality of the potatoes in the whole country. So was Ireland
I
still
would love to know what you thought about Stan Collymore.
the biggest potato? I honestly know.
Ah, what a fantastic potato there. I think that's what he would say.
Spot on.
Shall we start again?
Yeah,
Anyway, back to the Stoke game.
Stop. Oh, this is the point where the
Come
mics
on.
go boom, boom, boom.
Crystal
We'll- we'll-
Palace.
So hold on. So just get something from me here. You thought that the Palace game was Stoke.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, right, because when you said last game, I thought you were getting mixed up with Southampton. Like, I don't know if you wanted to get something
Oh,
from...
no. Like,
So you thought you watched on Saturday, you thought you were
Just
watching...
having a senior
No,
moment.
like-
That's
You
what
thought
it
you
is.
watched Stoke on
when I was
Saturday.
in the house, like, me brain, like, when I just started Googling it, I went, Newcastle v Stoke. Then I looked at Scott, I went, we didn't play Stoke. But I think it's just because it was that bad of a game. I just assumed it was against Stoke.
Right, I'm on board with you now. I know where you're
Do you know what I mean?
I do now. I thought you were trying to think of the last game, meaning...
To be fair, just before I started Googling it, I was printing photos of Man Stavely off, so that's probably why my brain went to mush.
Yeah, well, you just had them blue eyes looking at you. Like,
Oh, that was a crippled. That was absolutely
yeah,
crippled.
lovely. I like how you've got that part of the table.
Yeah,
If she doesn't buy wishing, fuck off. Get her off the table.
Don't you say a bad word against
I'm
her.
going to have to controversial and say she looks a bit manly. I think that's the jawline.
Well, I'm gay then.
Well,
That photo flatters her because I've seen some horrible ones of her.
Stop being horrible.
I've only seen one good photo of her.
That's it.
Nah, that one where she's
Oh, on the
she's
radiator.
lying against the radiator.
That's the one, like, the radiator shot's it, like.
She's lush, man. What is that?
She does look lovely on there, though. Them blue eyes, man. Unbelievable.
And she's not wearing a wedding ring.
Oof, controversial.
I'm not wearing mine either. Wee.
I'm not wearing mine in a minute.
Anybody? No, I'm married. We're all single here.
Adam's sitting with 3 on. I give it a while. This one's a hug, man.
It's Alan's halo.
I think I should put on his hand. Hey.
You'll forget that.
And right, let's talk about the football then for Alan.
It was
Alan Shearer.
awful, wasn't it? I mean, that was my first words to you when I walked into the pub after
It was
the match,
everyone's
wasn't
first words, mate. Every single person that came in that pub, because we were the first ones there after full time, and we're all like sitting in different parts of the ground, so people come in different times. Everyone that came in, oh, that was shite. Oh, that was terrible. That was awful. And you've got to agree with them. That was a championship game. That
But it was two. Both teams were just absolutely pathetic. It was just. We were so far off the pace. It was unbelievable.
I think from perspective of games that have gone by, every single player has like played really well, and I think on the flip side, that was a game where every single player played quite poorly.
I've said this before and I said it last year. It always happens to us, right, where we never have a game where someone can play really bad. Like, so Shelby may play poor, but players will play mint. Where
Steady on now. Steady on.
It's either we all play really well or we all play shit.
Yeah.
It's always been like that. We're either all really up for it or... I'm not saying up for it. I think the way up for it, they're just
I
wasn't
think
working.
everyone plays
I can
shit.
name half a dozen games where 10 people have played really well,
Oh, yeah, it
and
is.
one person's played shit.
How long ago he's off? He's talking about Perez. I'm sorry.
I know, but he was.
I'm
Hey,
sorry.
I'm not the only one who was saying how bad he was at the
we'll
weekend.
get on to Perez. We'll get on to him.
As
Just
bad as it
had your
gets.
horse.
I'll get on to him.
Had your horses a second.
Yeah, we'll get there. Yeah.
Right.
But no, you're right. It was shocking. It was dreadful. Poor game. We couldn't get a foothold in it, in my opinion. Neither could them really. Either, like.
Well, they were just hitting hope, weren't they?
Yeah.
Trying to get Townsend in with a bit of pace because that was the only outlet that they really
I
had.
thought he was their biggest threat. Like
He
even
was
more than
he
Zaha.
was desperate to have a performance against us, like, wasn't he?
Yeah.
And to be fair, that was probably a bit of their downfall as well because he wanted to do everything himself.
Yeah, he did. No, he
So
did,
because he started out on the right, didn't he? With
Started on the
Zaha
right,
up
yeah.
front, and then
he was doing the usual
he just
thing of cutting
drifting in, and then he ended up it was him playing up
Well,
front.
well,
We
from
well,
the
struggled
player.
to handle him for a little bit.
We've said
Early
that
on,
everyone
I
had a
was
poor
worried.
game though, but I think I give Manquillo credit. I thought he played quite well, and I would say Lascelles and Lejeune played quite well. I don't think.
I thought Lascelles was very good. Again, very good actually.
Yeah.
To be fair. To be fair to him, man.
First half for me, I think Manquillo was probably the only one that
stood out
as having a decent first half. And then I thought Yedlin was shocking. First half, really bad.
And you know for fact we praised so much, like since we've been recording this season, like so
But then
much.
second half, he was total different kettle of
He's
fish.
probably
He
the
was
biggest
back to
improvement
his-
of a player in the second
back
half.
to his best.
He did struggle the first half. He lost the ball loads, didn't he? His passing was either too short or too long, or
But it was
misplaced
everybody.
or-
Literally
I think
the
everyone's
simplest to pass. I mean, even Shelby, who we expect
Shelby
to get
had one of his games
9 out of
where
10 passes, they were allowed.
he had one of his games where he was trying too hard.
Yeah.
He was put like Hollywood passes left, right, and centre, and I think he passed it once and it went in for a throw. And there was no one even there. I think he passed to someone warming up.
Yeah.
I think that happens to him. Well, mind you, Lejeune thought he was Shelby for half the game.
He did pull off a
loves
few passes. So.
He's trying this ball to Yedlin, the first time, unbelievable. It was lovely.
Was it not pre-season where Lejeune had an assist for like just digging it from his own half?
When there was some highlights of him on Twitter or whatever, that was a highlight of him just absolutely smashing the ball like for 50, 60 yards. And I'm thinking, God, he's got a pass on him. He done a lovely ball out of Yedlin. It worked, and then he kept trying the same ball all the time. And I was thinking, this ain't gonna work all the time. Cheers, bud. But no, Shelby. I think Shelby was frustrated in the sense of everyone was playing terrible. We couldn't string 2 passes together, so he was trying to make things happen, but for the wrong way of making things happen. You know, by smashing the ball 50 yards.
It was quite rushed, wasn't it?
Yeah,
We just couldn't even get the simple things
overthink,
right. If you know a 10-yard pass, bar probably the back 4, they were the only ones that they were passing it amongst themselves. But there was nothing happening. Nothing between happening in front.
Yeah,
lack of movement or anything.
Every time we like pushed on and tried to hit them on the counter attack, there was 7 players just sitting behind the ball, so we're struggling. I think Atto had a couple of chances where he was way down the wing, and there was just no one there to support him. But that was the fact that Palace had so many players blocking any sort of creativity coming from our end.
What was that bit of slowness though?
Palace, I think Palace set up the same way what we've set up quite a bit away from home.
Well,
they were happy to absorb it, weren't they? Like on the counter, then I thought the setup to get a draw out of that game.
Oh, well, I think they wanted to try and sneak a 1-0 by having Townsend pace just push us on and then just hit one long. Because that's literally all they were doing. The whole game was getting it bang it up.
We'll get there. Well, I'll explain what I think in the second half once we get there. Anyway, I'll say what I thought.
Well, right. We watched the highlights before you two got here. See all this? We set all this up before you got here. This is what it looks like.
Good for you.
Like if you look on Twitter, it shows you what it looked like before this.
I was too busy saving
Makes a change.
But the first we looked at the highlights before, and just to recap on what had happened. In the first incident, we've only got about 5 things wrote down. That's how boring of a game it was. The first incident was, can you remember?
Kabai's probably.
Kabai's tackle.
I thought it would have been.
It was shocking, wasn't it?
Didn't know he didn't go.
What it came from, frustration of Zaha not getting a penalty. From what I remember, was where Zaha dived.
But he dived,
He did dive as well.
Oh, shocking! Absolutely.
Good decision.
Well, the ref told straight away, get up, right? And this is what infuriates me about refs. They'll say, get up, right? Fair enough. Tell him to stand up. But as soon as that ball goes out of play, book him.
Well, I think that
because it was a clear dive.
I think he probably would have
if
that incident not have happened.
And I think he forgot.
Because then there was that whole melee and everything like that. With literally everybody was just piling in. And to be honest, it was a bit of a surprise that there was only. Who was it? It was Lascelles and
and Cabai.
Oh, he came over because he was obviously having a go, wasn't he?
The incident itself. The ball goes out Yedlin on the right hand side, and he's clearing it. He's got plenty of time to clear it, right? So he puts his foot through it. As the ball goes away, he hasn't got the ball at his foot this time. Cabai comes in and tries.
Well, he came flying. He came a long way to get that tackle in.
Yedlin doesn't see him coming. Not a chance.
Because he kind of comes almost slightly behind him, but in front of the sign.
And that's a scissor tackle.
Both legs were wrapped around one.
And if you look at the replay of the tackle, his left foot, which is trying to win the ball, is can he raise quite high? So that
he's
connects
off the ground
with
in one
Yedlin.
stage. He's off the ground completely.
There was no control in that tackle. None whatsoever.
No. I've watched it 4 or 5 times in slow-mo and that, and it's just horrendous.
For him not to get sent off for that.
Well,
and the way the ref ran over, you thought he was getting sent off.
As soon as I seen the ref run over, I went, as he's gone. You could just tell by his reaction, but then the longer it went on, where you could see the ref was starting to panic a bit and thinking, shit, where's my linesman, who can I ask? He's walking about, and I thought, he's not going to send him off now, because he's waited too long. I thought he was going to run straight over, bang, he's gone.
I think other side, and if the linesman's there, he's off.
Yes, I agree as well. Yeah.
But maybe the referees thought, because the referee wasn't that close to the incident, maybe he's thought,
there it is.
It's a shock.
It's not that, man. I mean, he takes both of his legs away.
And then he breaks his left one.
He just goes straight through him, and it's.
But we know this from Cabai. Cabai's got that.
He's
got it. We've seen it so many times. He's got it. But when he was doing it for us, we loved him for doing stuff like that. But that.
I wouldn't say I loved him
but that there, what we say, the ref was quite a distance away. So maybe the ref was relying on other people that had saw the incident. And what we've seen it before, the fourth official has this season messaged the referee clearly, saying this and this happened. So I think everyone in that ground was thinking he was off.
Have you seen the view
on the
of
other
it?
side of the ground, and I thought he was off.
Have you seen the view of it where you can see Townsend in the picture, and Townsend's got his hands on his head?
Oh, yeah, because he
Even
knows.
he knew that it was a red.
Well,
you could tell by the reaction.
when I
of the
looked at
player.
it
I think Kabai's reaction when he did it, he was straight up and
apologising.
Yeah,
he
knew he was
but
off.
as a team, what we've never done is appeal anything, penalties, whatever, anything. If one of our
I don't know, like that.
No,
All
recently.
of
But
our
that's what I'm
players
saying,
were
now,
open arms.
that incident there, they did, and that's the first
Yeah.
time I've seen that in a long time. We paused it earlier on. I think there's 3 or 4 Newcastle players. As soon as
Straight
that happens,
eye.
they turn to the referee,
Straight up
and,
an eye.
and that's not happened for a long time.
And I think that's
at
what then
Newcastle United.
started the bit melee off. It was because obviously Lascelles.
Well,
went
Lascelles
straight
was the
over.
first one there.
Of course, he was furious with him.
That was
Goodbye, shit himself because let's face
My
it.
favourite thing about that was Van Aanholt. He's in a left back position. He sprints to the other side of the pitch to Lascelles, and he just bounces off Lascelles. he just bounces. It's like he's on a bungee. He's gone.
I love Lascelles.
He just the Mountain Palace players. I came in and it was like Lascelles was bounced out. Like he's just days later. They just push him in the face.
That's what they deserve. Like it's
shocking,
horrendous. Just horrendous. Like
It's just again, and it's came out, in the stats since then is that
100 games.
100 games since an opposition player has been sent off against
That's nearly
us.
3 seasons.
Yeah.
In fact,
And I mean,
it's like
we've
3 seasons.
harped on. There's been probably, if not every game this season, it's probably been at least 2/3 of the games where
you're looking about
really
80% of the
something
game,
should have happened.
I can't
It's
believe
just-
he didn't go. Like I really can't believe it. Like
It's
imagine if that was Mitru or Shelby, man. Be banned for life.
But apparently, someone tweeted me afterwards and said that they could see Shelby, and he went over the ref and he went, "If that was me, I'm off."
It's funny you say that. I said that to me dad. I was sitting with my dad and I went, you seen the way Shelby walked over and he sort of like pointed to himself and I went, he's saying to him that if that was me, you'd have sent me off. And I'm thinking, you've got to be careful, like, but he's got a good point, like, got to be careful. But Elliot gets a yellow card, right, for complaining.
For dissent,
and it's the same, and I'm not saying
same punishment,
I'm not saying bring out a new card, like a fucking orange card or something.
Purple card,
What
no,
I'm
that's
saying,
it.
No, but that's the thing already.
it's the same punishment though. If that tackle is the same as Elliot going wide and he's him out, that's ridiculous. Yeah. It's just unbelievable. I can't believe it.
It
Unbelievable.
is absolutely mental.
I was just really pleased Yedlin was alright because I thought that could be him done. I honestly did when I thought it was a really bad tackle. And I thought,
It's one of them ones where you think, well, has he intended to do him? Then yes, absolutely red card. Is it something like that where it's a little bit late and it's unfortunate that he's fouled him the way he has? Then it does probably, like you're saying, warrant something different to a simple, well, that's a silly foul that you've gave away there or something, or the dissent. But
like a Hayden foul. Hayden gives them fouls away.
Yeah, well,
there's complete intent going for the ball, but he's slightly late.
Yeah.
That is to do him.
Because he's slow.
I think. Anyway.
Well, I think as Newcastle fans, I think we've got quite a good, not a good opinion, but we've got like a quite a fair opinion of Kabay because we've saw him do this before. So for us to say it's not just because he's playing our team, we know that he's done this before.
Yeah.
He's been sent off
Times,
for us
right.
for doing this before.
He did it against Brighton, didn't he?
He stamped. Who did he stamp on when he was playing? He stamped on one of the players. I can't remember who it was. He got sent off. I think he didn't get sent off game, but I think he may.
It was a cup game when he missed the Mappen game because he got sent off.
There's a couple of he's definitely had a few red cards.
Because he's a little prick. He's a little arrogant
that
little
was
thing.
that was a tackle very similar to Kane's. Was just out of pure
Yeah,
frustration.
It reminded me of Keynes a lot actually.
I think
was
Kabay's was
the same,
worse because of the speed that
It's
he went
because
in
he
at.
came flying over for it.
Aye.
He was obviously frustrated that he thought it was a penalty, didn't get it, and then got pissed off and just done him.
Yeah, I don't think he's gone in to hurt Yedlin. I don't think that at all.
Aye, well, maybe not.
I just think he's just been so frustrated.
Yes,
He's
he's seen red for a couple
He's
of
gone
times.
in.
He's just saw that ball.
He's
He
gone
went,
into going
"I'm
hard
getting
on a tackle in aye.
I don't want to like slay him too much. Oh, no, in fact, I do fuck him.
But it's funny because he wasn't really getting that much grief from the crowd. Like him and I think it was probably Townsend was getting the worst.
Yeah.
And then
Van Aanholt
after
didn't really get any until later on in the
he
game.
bloody played for bloody 6 months a season.
I think the first time
Mackham's
Kabay
good
started
because
getting
of
penalties
Mackham,
is when he went to take corners in the strawberry.
Well, it was
corner.
after that
started
happened. Everybody
start laughing?
Oh,
started.
he's smiling at them. Aye.
Did he? Oh, fair crack,
Well,
fair
just
crack.
call him a greedy bastard and all that. kind of
That
thing.
was meant that sound like.
Well, there's
But to be fair though, like you know, that we did. We used to idolise him as a player because he was brilliant.
When he refused to travel, that was me done with him.
Well, that's the problem.
And I mean that.
When he wanted to go and sign for Arsenal, spat his dummy with that, then came back in, and he had to work hard to get back on. No, to get the fans back on side and that kind of thing. After that, like you're saying, some people just never ever forgave him.
Well, we got humped off Man City as well, didn't we? Like 6-0.
Yeah.
And I think Pardew's opening line was, it might have been a bit different if a certain person had gotten on the bus. And I was just like, you son of a bitch. Fuck you.
Well,
but that's life. That is what it is. It is.
The thing is, when he went in the corner, it was late on the game. It was still nils each. It was late on the game though. And he went to take a couple of corners. I think it was successive corners.
Yeah, it was all down the Gallowgate corner.
And there's a couple of lads on the front.
Just that one bloke with his. There was one that was like probably right over the
money me sound like this, right? But I shit you not, right? I saw someone 2 flights of stairs back in the Gallowgate that got off his seat and ran to the front just to give a fully grown man, you know. Like what goes through someone?
It was one bloke in particular that was doing it.
But why would you run so far just to slate a player that just does not?
Oh
give
no,
a shit
I wouldn't
you?
do that. No, but
I
wouldn't run that far. There's a guy at the front already.
I would, depend on who it was.
You would not run down any flights of stairs.
I tell you what, when Spurs come to town, and there's a certain little player that plays for them, if he was coming down in front of me and I was 3 rows back, I'd be right over that.
Was it Dele?
No.
Oh,
couldn't give a shit about him.
You could have a while away, like.
Eh?
You'd have a while away.
Well, we played them first game of the season, didn't we? But
to see it at Wembley.
Exactly. Musa.
You won't get any other pitch out Wembley.
Exactly. You're 3 mile away from the bloody touchline there.
You're right,
You'll have to do it.
I'll get some binoculars and a loud one. Oh, Sissoko!
That'll put your note on the end of that.
What? You nearly got your eye out there. I'm blind, Jack. But I think it was that after that tackle, like literally, that was everybody was on his case from there on in.
Rightly so, though. Rightly so.
We've said this before. I think it helps us when a decision, not a decision, but an incident like that happens because then the fans, because it was flat as out. It was flat, and sometimes you can't blame any fan for not being flat because it was that poor. But when that happened, everyone was up. There was a little bit of passion there, you know what I mean? And that sort of helps. It
always does either a good strong tackle that one of our players puts in, or a bad decision.
What moments can you remember off the top of your head where St James's Park was on its feet waiting for a decision? The one that stands out in my mind is
I'm just kidding.
Oh, that was
but
great. But the original was Tuori's goal against Man City.
Oh, yeah, that was
like when the referees are like trying to figure out. I'm stood there going like this.
Yeah.
And we've had a few of the last few years where everyone's standing waiting.
The one I remember the most was the penalty. Because it's in
the Mariki thing.
It's in my memory more because it's so recent. Was that one? Everyone was standing up for like 15 minutes thinking, right, what's going on?
Right.
Like, surely we're going to take this again and all the rest of it. But
that was ridiculous. Let's not even get started. Did he not fuck up with something out of the weekend as well? Was it Steve Mon?
I don't know. Something yellow card. I didn't even watch the video.
Did he not?
I didn't watch.
Did someone get sent off, but you forgot to give him the red card?
Again? Oh, was him again?
He got sent off, but you forgot to give him a red card because he didn't have his red card on him. So he made him come back out of the dressing room. He took a couple of steps on the pitch. Then he showed him the red card. So he had to go back home.
Well. I don't know how he referees him. I didn't get it.
He tells him to
fuck off.
Piss off.
To go off, and he obviously
he physically had to come back on the pitch so he could show him a red card. It's so strange, man. In fact, he's just weird. He's just a shit referee.
Stupid rules.
But that Kabay tackle was the first talking point of the game. From that tackle, like you say, Kabay got booked. Yeah. Lascelles got booked, Elliot got booked, and Van Aanholt got booked just for making a massive effort for breaking the 100 metre distance together.
But to be fair, there was a load of people that were just
bouncing
themselves. Richie was right in front of the ref's face, man.
It's what happens, and when you have that kind of reaction, again, as a referee, you should know that that's been, for people to react in that way, it cannot just be a simple
instinct.
tackle.
You would
or anything
surely
like
think he's off. Good instinct.
Well, it was the way he ran over.
The whole
over.
ground went up at that point, and I don't know whether he thought it was they're only going up like that because it's Kabay.
No, but the thing that gives it away is
Kabay's reaction. It was a shocking tackle.
It's Kabay's reaction, which to me the referee should be thinking, hey, he knows what he's done there. Like,
you imagine if it was one of our players, like just can you imagine the intake of breath that would, if it was one of ours, like, oh shit. Like, all of us would have known.
You'd know, because you do.
You just know. Football's football.
That's what I'm saying, like, the whole ground knew that every single person was up.
Yeah.
Straight away, get him off. Yeah. The Palace fans would, perhaps went deathly silent. They were like that all game.
Yeah, they were poor. A lot of them,
terrible. Very bad decision.
The next chance at which came out, that was Atu's chance, which I think it might be Shelby that played the ball through. And Atu, he touches the ball. His first touch is pretty poor, like, and their right back, who was it? Ward. Their right back, Ward. He gets to the ball, and Atu, at his heels once again, like Atu does at his ankles, nicks the ball away, then he's away. He's on goal. Snapshots at it, hits the side netting.
Yep. And I can only remember us having 2 shots on target.
First shot.
Yeah. I can only remember 2 shots.
Shot in the first half, maybe.
Until we scored, one in there in 1 second half. That's all I can remember. 2 shots on target.
Yosselu, didn't he? No, did he?
He didn't get the ball.
The service. I know. He was brilliant defensively. The amount of headers he went on corner, because I thought Cabaye overall was dreadful personally, but his corners were good. He had them on the money nearly every time. But the amount of times
he always did deliver a good ball.
He had some really good crosses up. Corner set pieces. But
I remember they got a free kick as well, and it was in prime. Prime Cabaye position, and I was like,
and I said to them, this is not what
Gallowgate end, wasn't it? Gallowgate end, just to the right.
Yeah. Like, in my head, I had already saw him sliding to the corner flag.
Because we've seen him put that ball in that position and stick it in the back of the net so many times.
I always remember. But I just thought, well, we're probably going to get on to them now. We probably should. Perez, man.
Did you notice Perez was wearing slippers?
Oh, he kept falling over. I said that immediately. He kept slipping all the time.
It comes as a surprise to you that he keeps falling over.
No, but like,
I've watched him at all this.
You tell me a player that's played worse than that. In your opinion, in an hour for 60 minutes of a live game of football, I have never seen anyone play that poor. And I mean that as much as I can mean.
Look, I'll be fair here. Everybody had a bad first half. Probably first 70, 75 minutes.
Maybe not Lascelles, I don't think. But fair enough, I'll take your comment. I'll take it.
But, again, he stood out as... The game just passed them by. And I know when you're in that position that if you're not involved, if your midfield's not giving, you've got no ability to link up and stuff like that, you probably are going to look bad. But that's when you've got to work hard, try and get on the ball, drop back a little bit
even when he got the ball, man. Yeah, there was one time
when he ran into 3... He got the ball and ran into 3 players. Why?
There was another part when...
Just go a different way. Don't go straight ahead into 3 players.
Everyone just went, that's it.
So we just leave.
Someone, I don't know if it was Yosselu, like, chested the ball down to him, and he was totally free, just over halfway, and he went to run with the ball, but he left the ball behind him. And then everyone just went, hey, man. It was just after half-time, I think, as well. And I think everyone had just had it by that stage.
He was terrible.
And I actually think if I did, it wasn't long after that.
It came 2 weeks running.
Yeah.
Well, this, for me, was the moment where I thought the game changed quite a lot.
Absolutely, yep.
He brought on Diarmi. Sorry, I know he brought Merino, but he brought on Diarmi. And Hodgson took off Zaha and went defensively. And I think the last 15 minutes we were
even quite speaking of Zaha, first off, his chance that he missed that header. He's at the back post, Yedlin gets pushed off the ball so easy.
I forgot about that.
And the leaders, and he headers it, and it's about 10 yards.
Puts it miles wide, doesn't he?
Not even close.
Yeah.
But like Yedlin gets pushed off the ball so easy, and Zaha, it's not an easy chance, but he should be putting that on target.
On target at least.
Even heading it back into the.
Well, I think that was realistic. That's why their bottom and Devani scored 2 goals in their life.
Like, but that was the only. That was the only chance that they really had. Bar
they didn't have a shot.
Townsend having a couple of runs and
there was one
pop shots and stuff like that.
But Zaha was winding our fans up all game. Like there was a time where he went down on the edge of a.
Well, he kept falling over and chucking himself around.
Well, he went down like on the touchline by the east stand. Then like all the fans are like shouting at him as he do, and he stands up and he just cheesy grin on his face. What players do, and like trying to wind them up and that. But apparently he done it.
Getting stick, it's
he done the leasers as well. Then the referee went and had a word with him, saying, "I know what you're doing."
He was crap. He's a tricky bastard. He's tricky, but he was crap. He was very.
I was expecting him to have, especially after last week. I thought he'd be bang up for it because he he was the absolute difference for them in that
was.
win. And I think it was his first game of the season, wasn't it?
The only thing that gave me confidence was that we had stopped Mane and Salah before, like a couple of weeks ago. I've got no real issues out wide anymore with Yedlin.
We've said so many
happy
times
with that.
we're so confident with defence. It's crazy to say as a Newcastle fan that we're confident going into a game thinking we're going to be hard to score against. Mental.
I mean, it'll probably come when we'll play City and it'll be a cricket score. But hopefully it's not, because I think at the minute we're all confident that we'll be organised, solid against anybody.
That different approach play, isn't it? Whereas they just pick and pass the passes, move, and that's what frustrates me somewhat. Is we very rarely have any movement, like in and around the ball to make yourself available.
It's a lot of that where there's a lot of times I've seen we're past to Richie and everyone just stopped, and we're like, come on then.
Exactly. Put the ball out, get forward and attack it.
Well, I think in that first half it was quite clear how much we were missing Merino. Yeah. Because every ball was going through midfield and there was no one intercepting that ball. Like
when Marino came on second half, I thought he was terrible.
I didn't think
he came on and
I
agree.
He did start quite well. Like he did.
Diarmi changed the game.
He did.
Absolutely.
Diarmi changed the game.
100%.
Changed the whole game.
People obviously slate him week in, week out. I've sat here and said it before. I'd rather have him in the team than Perez because he at least gives you a little bit of drive forward.
Did he have the first shot a goal where he crifed someone?
I think he more or less came on and
then he bent it with his right foot. And I know it was never really going to go in. I know the keeper saved it.
No, Shelby had a chance before that where he nearly broke Speroni's hands.
Oh, was that the one when he played that free kick outside the foot of Yedlin?
Oh, that was beautiful, wasn't it?
Because I was like, there's nothing out from here, and then he just...
Because he pushed everybody across the left, didn't he?
And then all of a sudden... he hit that ball, that was like... Speroni, he thought, there's no way I'm catching this. Like.
Well, he's a crap keeper. There's two things. He's a bad keeper. We should have been testing him out a lot earlier than that. And that centre-back, is it Sacco in it? Is it the one for... Hey, man, have you seen any creature look so uncomfortable on a ball? In your life?
He played quite well. Did he not play quite well for them last season, though?
Well, do you know what? I'll be honest. For Liverpool...
Last season he was quite well, I think.
Well, he's a beast, isn't he? He's a beast. And I thought for Liverpool under Brendan Rodgers, as a defender, he's actually all right. But if you give him time on the ball, my God.
Oh, it's clumsy, like.
My God. You should have been pressing that light. You know what teams used to do us when we had Williamson? They'd mark everybody else and just let Williamson have it. We should have done that and then just charged at him. But we didn't. But he was so poor on the ball, we should have been at him all the time. And secondly, taking shots at that keeper. Because he's not very good.
Well, it wasn't until Diarmi came in that we actually did step up and start putting them under more pressure.
He really did.
And that's where we then started to really test.
I think the three subs that Rafa made, and he made his first one early. I think it might
were you shocked that was
it didn't? But I was saying that it didn't really work out because it did in the end, obviously.
Was it Perez that went off first?
No,
Hayden went off for Merino, and Merino, as I say, just didn't get into the game. And when
he lost the ball,
when you've got him, you know, not being able to get in, and you think, what's like, you just think this is one of them days where
a bit rusty, wasn't he?
It's just.
Well, I think it's difficult because, as I say, I think them got more defensively because they were happy with a point. At one stage that they were quite happy for a point, and we needed someone a bit more physical that was ready to drive at a player. Whereas personally, I don't really see Merino as that. I think he's a baller. Don't get us wrong, but when Diarmi come on, he was spinning and trying to go at players, which makes all the difference. Then, like once you put them on the back foot. That made all the difference.
Definitely, absolutely. As you say, the game changed from that moment that we actually started really turning the screw on them.
We did. So, and we were all over them for a long period. There was only one time I think when they got caught on the break, which was it Van Aald in the back post?
Back post, aye.
What a chance! It was Merino lost the ball then as well. He tried to pass it and lost it.
Well, you saw that cross coming across, and Van Aanholt's already made the run. He's already lost his man. He's making that run the back post, and I was thinking, fuck, this is going. It was one of them things where if he slides. Just,
I'd say he was a canny way away.
Was he?
He wasn't too far away.
He wasn't too far. We're quite on line with it. Like
for a player with speed, I don't think he was.
Sam more or less was in line with that. He was a canny way off. Like,
was he?
In fairness, in the full 45 minutes of the second half, that was their best opportunity, which is good on us. That's really good for us. You know what I mean? I thought they were gonna score there. I thought personally, but
do you want to get the pints?
I've already got one board, so I crack on.
Do you want to get the pints? Tons of money. See what you got now.
But then, obviously,
up your steps. And I felt that it was going to be a set piece that would win the game.
But before that, obviously, Mitrovic came on.
Aye.
He had a very, very mute entrance to the game, didn't he?
It was good, wasn't it? It was good.
It's a strange. I mean, we've had this conversation. The way the way people go on about kind of Mitrovic, he gets slagged on Facebook, on Twitter and stuff like that. But
what do you want?
same. Well, obviously at the
Kawhi's
match,
Kawhi's already paid.
as soon as that, because he was warming up for a long time. He's coming on. He's coming
Who
on.
told him up?
Mitrovic.
Oh, mate.
Sorry.
And then when the board went up,
Yeah.
that was it. It was the noise just went through.
Well, I'll put on
the
Twitter
chant and
afterwards.
everything like that.
I may have said this before, but I've never known a player that there's so many people on social media that despise him.
Yeah.
Despise him, the lad.
They mustn't get out of a
hate
match
him.
then. Aye. I had to buy 2 on my card.
As soon as he is waiting to come on the pitch, everyone's on the feet.
Yep.
And as soon as he comes on, Mitro.
Exactly.
We never see that with a sub. Never.
He looked...
Well, the only time you ever used to see it, which I hate to say it, was when that little fat French kid used to come on.
Came on. Aye.
Oh, Benny, aye.
But Mitro's,
And then he would get on, come on,
Mitro's first
run the
involvement.
ball down the line, just running straight out of play.
Mitro's first involvement, he lost the ball.
That's exactly what he did.
Oh, the
He
chest
lost the
down.
ball.
Well, he hit chest
In centre midfield and they were on the time. I went, oh, Mitro, don't do it.
Yeah, I didn't think he did very much, in fairness, but...
I thought he...
No, I think once he got after that, because he did come to do the right thing. He just obviously put too much on his chest, and then after that he was stepping off the defender, doing what he tried to do there, and actually bringing it down.
He looked rough though, do you not think? When he come
Shake
on,
his head again, Annie.
bloody hell, he just looks like
hard
rough
again.
as out.
Aye.
Like,
The thing is,
Whenever he's been away on the internationals,
we've said
and
and a
he'll
lot.
probably just shake his head when he's asleep, you know. Let's get me through.
did any of you see the FIFA 18 challenge thing with Perez?
Oh, and he goes on and messes his hair
I've heard
up.
it's good.
howling at that.
I have to watch that. I've heard it's good.
Mitro just pops up in the background and
Aye, but afterwards he looks at his hand and goes, it's just full of wax in it. But what I was saying is, I can't remember what I was saying.
I thought Joselu also got a good ovation coming off.
Yes.
Because we still appreciate his work rate.
Yeah.
Because his work rate was second to none.
Well, that's proper fans do. They can. Yes, as a striker, you're judged on the amount of goals that you score, but that's not all about being a striker. You've got to do the boring, nasty stuff.
Judge strikers on the goals that they score.
Not all. Well, the ones that give Mitrovic grief constantly, and that'll happen with Joselu. Is if he continues to play that he is and doesn't get his goals, that'll happen. They'll be saying he's useless, he's a donkey. It already patterns go with people on going about, well, he's not good enough and stuff like that.
The thing
he does the dirty game stuff that you need somebody in a strike.
The thing that annoys me is I don't hate Perez as what you do. I don't think anyone hates Perez.
I don't hate. He's just
you do hate him. But
he just annoys the shit out of us.
But not for the word hate. I don't hate him. I just think he's dreadful.
You just don't think he's good enough. Yeah. What?
When people don't rate Gale, people have a go at Gale and think he's not good enough. Perez is not good enough.
Do you think Perez is in this team though because he's at the minute the team,
he's in the team because we haven't got anybody.
No, I think he's in the
that
team
position
because that team right now. What lost 2 games?
He's only there because we've got nobody else to play there.
As well.
I know.
Well, 3 really because we lost.
But I think if you mess about with the team, and he's not a number 10, but what we're doing right now is good, right? Maybe he's not
unreal.
It's a frustrating situation for having Perez in the team, but I think it's because we don't have anyone better.
Absolutely not. That would be the first place I. If I had money in the January transfer window, it would be a creative midfielder, number 10
but just
position.
Look at the players we've gave away. Well, not gave away, but we've got rid of, right? Do you think, looking back on it now, selling De Jong was a bad decision?
Yes, in his skill level, he hasn't got the pace to play there. Right. That is why he went.
Yeah, I don't think he can do the discipline side of the game. And I know you disagree on this part, but I think Perez off the ball, I'm not saying he presses the ball, but he shuts the gaps off towards making the defender play. What annoys me
is a lot of people at the weekend are saying you've got to look at Perez and he grafts his arse off. Fair enough, it looks like he's grafting his arse off. But then you look at Joselu, he's running the length of the pitch to stop these out. So I compare them two because they're in a very similar position because Perez does start drifting up as a striker.
Oh, like 4-4-2 off the time, really, in fairness.
So I'm looking at Joselu and I'm thinking, why the hell is he down there?
Yeah, exactly. When Perez is playing further back than him.
We're getting on this. A lot of people have said Joselu and Mitro are very similar what they do. If you look at Joselu with the balls in the air, he looks to head it on to another player.
All the time.
Mitrovic looks to take it down and bring the person coming into the game, so he looks for the midfielders. So he,
I think
if gets a ball, he looks for Shelby straight away. So he wants to give it Shelby, and he wants to be on the move. I think Joslu's looking for the flick on in the head, hoping the likes of Perez is going to be there just to run right on.
That's
defense.
where I think Gale
That's the
would be
difference.
better up with him if he was fit, of course.
Yep.
Gale would be more intelligent of getting them flick-ons. Perez to me has the attitude when the ball's in the air that Joslu wouldn't win the header, so I'm not even going to bother to make the move. But Joslu, I think, wins at least 7 out of 10. And what you say, they're not even well, they are a bit of a hopeful flick-on, but I think there's a bit of intent around what he's trying to do.
That is what you want as that type of striker, is to bring others into the game. And if you've got somebody who's meant to be playing in and around you, you want to be putting them in through on goal.
To put it simply, I think Joslu looks to try and assist a player, and I think Mirovic tries to link up a player so he can get on the end of the ball.
I think he understands the way we play now and knows that there's no point in us doing that because nobody's going to get on behind us. So I've got to now bring it down and either drop it back or push it and then turn. Yeah. Whereas that slows the game down. Oh God, that's just reminded us of another thing. Slows the game down. Whereas if you've got somebody that's playing up on you and you're trying to attack and win the game, you want your number 10 to be going on to them. Look at Kevin Nolan. He used to essentially play that role for us with Carroll. Where was Kevin Nolan when that ball was in the air to Carroll? He was always there.
He was waiting.
And going past him. Look how many goals he scored in them couple of seasons.
Perez doesn't get beyond that.
Absolutely not.
I don't know if that's confidence. I don't know what it is, but he will not break for. He's done it. To be honest, he's done it once where I've seen him run forward off the ball. It was against Southampton for Richie's pass. He ran. He made a great run forward, and he found him and he scored. But 9 times out of 10, he has the belief that he's not even going to win the flick on, and he just stands still. Yeah. But then when he loses the ball, he'll do his little fancy trot and run over, and I'll try and press him down and look good. But for me, he doesn't know.
It's so frustrating because I honestly believe that Perez has got it in him. I do think he does.
I don't know. When he was in the championship,
I do, and that's why I get.
He's shown before.
That's why I get so. But he's been consistently bad for at least. Probably 3 seasons, to be fair.
I agree. I totally agree. He was crap the season we went down. He was terrible in the championship, and everyone goes, "It's just not his league. It's just not his league."
He wasn't.
Do you think?
Well, he was still crap, but he was better.
Shite.
He was better last season.
It helps when you're playing Postman, but he was still shite.
First half of the season, he was shocking. And then he picked it up second.
Post-person. You've got to call them post-persons now.
God.
Don't assume the post deliverers.
Firefight.
Post-person Pat, and you're really confused if it's a man or a woman.
Firefight individual, or whatever it's called. Anyway, championship he was shite. I don't care what anyone tells me, he was poor. And again, people say, well, he'll suit the Premier League, get a bit more time. He's dreadful, man. He's dreadful again.
And I don't, like, we've said that all the time.
He will pop up, like he did against Southampton, he'll pop up and he'll score with some good goals. But
to go from the performance he had against Southampton to the performance he's just had against, I was going to say Stoke.
I don't know why it comes as a surprise, because he does it all the time.
If you take his goal out of that against Southampton, I still don't think he played that well.
I think he did graft like I did. Like I don't fall for this grafting bullshit that a lot of people say.
You are with Perez.
No, I think against Southampton he did play well.
But I don't even think he does that half the time.
Your number 10 has to offer you more than just graft.
Yeah.
Yes,
that's
100%.
Honestly my opinion.
I agree with you.
And for me, if I was Diarmi, I'll be brutally honest, I'd be knocking on the door saying, any chance, mate? Yeah. Like, how can he play every minute? Give us a chance. And he's not number 10 either, by the way.
The problem that Diarmi's got is he's even worse going forward, because for a big, strong lad, he's got a powder puff shot.
He might have, but just to see a man running forward.
No, but to be fair, Perez and Diarmi have got the same attribute where they're just like running into people.
But Diarmi bundles himself somehow out of them with the ball more times than he doesn't.
He just ran into a crowd of people. He still had the ball out his feet.
I think Diarmi. I really believe if he got a run of games, we'll still be shite. No, I'm just kidding. No, no. I still think he'd be all right, okay. You know what I mean?
I firmly believe that as a manager or looking at your team, you've got to look at the position in the team where you're your worst, and you've got to improve it there. So people shout out that way, oh, we need another striker, we probably do, but we've got 3 strikers that can and should score your goals. We have not got a number 10 at that club. We've got two players that we sometimes play there, but they're not. Merino plays that role for Spain.
Yeah.
He's been scoring goals left, right, and centre for them.
The only other option we've got, really, I think, is to drop Perez and play Merino, Hayden, and Shelvey. So you tell Hayden not to move at all. You stay where you are, and you hit everyone that comes near you. And Merino and Shelvey decide in the game who does that job.
Well, it worked the other week, didn't it?
I don't know. I still think Shelvey could be all right at that, going forward a bit more. I think.
I don't think he's got the discipline or the legs to do it.
The legs, I do agree. And with Shelvey mindset, he just wants to be a quarterback all the time.
But then do you think you're still cramming a player into a position where?
But no matter what we choose, we're going to be doing that.
Yeah.
Perez. All I would say with Perez is, I would imagine on the training ground and that he's had now. How long's Rafa been here? 2 years, whatever he's been here.
He
came
back at about half a dozen games back end of the season.
Did we not have 6-7 games when he came in the end of the Premier League?
So you've got all that summer, you had all of last year, all of this summer, learning that position. There's no doubt Rafa is constantly telling him how to play.
No, he played played the left winger a lot, didn't he?
Every time I see him,
he played on the left side.
Maybe very
went down him and Kufran.
But
occasionally.
But in the championship, he was the number 10. So he's had a long time to make that role his own, and Rafa's worked with him, and I don't think he's developed it all.
I think this team with a number 10, a proper number 10,
and that's why I'm saying
would score
that
goals,
has to be the position that.
And who do you think? I don't know who you could get. I'll be really honest. I wish I knew someone, because I don't know who we could get.
To be fair though, on this podcast, we've had loads of questions in the past. People saying, "Who would you buy? Who would buy?" We don't know, man. I'm not this type of kid that's going to sit on Football Manager and go, "Oh, he's a good player. He's good on Football Manager."
Well, that's why you employ. That's why you employ chief scouts. That's why you've got that network there to go and look at the.
I'd be very surprised if we do not buy. Well, in fact, I was going to say we don't buy a number 10 in the transfer window, but we don't know what's happening because of this woman. This woman in the.
I'll just remind you of this if this goes wrong.
Oh, that's a beaut.
Well, that's what I mean.
I think everybody's pinning far too much hope and belief on.
I think the fact that it's gone into the period of due diligence, I think that speaks volumes. Because that costs money, doesn't it?
But the thing is she's just
money's not there, man.
She's just the bloody the front person, the negotiator.
No, she will be the chairwoman. She will be. Ashley.
Apparently she's involved.
Oh, she is.
Must be true because Lee Ryder said so.
No, but what? I mean, we'll probably get on a bit later on.
Lee, cancel it. Go on.
It might not. It might not happen. It might not. But we'll have to have a bit of hope. Otherwise, we'll just sit here and cry and be as. You've got to have a bit of hope and a bit of sort of sense of belief because I think it will happen. I do think it'll happen. Maybe not her, mind you. It could be someone else. But
I think she's going to be and I think we're going to have a boatloads of money.
I'm not quite that optimistic because I'll just be let down. So I'm optimistic that we'll have more than we have been having. So I think we might bid a challenge with your Bournemouths of the world and maybe bid 18 million or 20 million for a player. I'm not in the sense of some fans of here we'll go.
Let me be the pessimist
thing, and I think the future looks bright for Will.
Let me be the pessimist and realist. That's the word I'm looking for. Remember when our current owner was linked with the club and came in, and he was the best thing since sliced bread. He's going to pump millions and millions in.
But I think the difference is because of her background.
That's where you've got to have that.
How long did it take before you realised Ashley was?
It was a while.
It was a while. Because when he brought Keegan in, he's the man.
He started moving,
and he was drinking
beer. Was it really that long though?
It was a while.
I'd have to look back properly. I'm just mentioning that comment at the top of my head. But when he first came in, he was.
I'm getting images of him wearing the shirt in the crowd.
He was in.
Which is the same shirt that we got relegated in.
That's what. But he was.
But he sacked Big Sam because everybody wanted it. In fairness, everyone was up in arms.
He should never have got the job in the first place, could he?
I still think he should have been given a bit more time. I don't think we would have went down if he had stayed. That's my opinion. Could be wrong.
To be fair, I think.
Then he got Keegan in.
Bringing Keegan back was probably the wrong thing to do.
But at the time, wow.
Everybody thought it was amazing.
I did as well. But anyway, such is life.
So, this is just what you've.
But going back to what you said,
got to think about it.
You're right, probably. Everyone was dead happy he was coming in. He was drinking with the fans. He's getting his belly out. Wow, he's a real guy. He's in the away end. Now everyone.
Because that's what you thought. He was a normal bloke who happened to be filthy rich.
apparently he wants to get involved. When he sells, he's going to buy another club, isn't he? But a smaller one. And I think he'd probably do Harry somewhere else.
He'll do Harry
with a smaller budget.
Yeah, but he'll do alright until they get a level where they want to succeed a bit more, and then you'll think, what am I going to do with this club?
Yeah.
It depends. I think I said it last week. It depends on this group that comes in. Are they just a group of investors that just want to come in because they want to turn a profit every season, because that's what the books say that we do? That is what all of the reports say that we do, and we've done it, we've achieved it. I think even in the season we went down, we've made it.
I'm hopeful for this.
Or because you've seen reports of what that we've got. We'll have 50 million to spend, 100 million to spend, 500 million to spend. So
we're not spending 500 million. Not a chance. What did say in 3 seasons?
It was 2 windows. 2 windows.
2.
But
she buys in December.
Can we physically spend that?
Spend more than one.
No, without getting
it's fair placed. Well, just look at Man City, Man United. They spend that amount of money.
I've got an idea. Sign a program deal with their own company. Oh, this is our program sponsor.
Yeah, I suppose.
Kebab Shack or something.
But
let's then pay with 400 million.
Johan Kebab Shack.
Could be that.
Let's be realistic though. Like we don't expect in the next 2-3 years to be challenging for anything. Maybe a cup.
But there is people out there that just do.
Garth Brooks.
There is Garth Brooks.
Garth Brooks.
What's he called? Off the BBC, something on
Garth
the league.
Brooks.
Garth Brooks, sorry. He said, "Oh, when the league in a rafa,
Get the
right resources. Get the right resources. Get the right resources."
To be fair, I normally think he's an absolute gobshite, but he was getting. He did.
The right resources.
Yeah.
He said that a lot of times. Resources.
Exactly.
Do you know what really annoyed me about pundits right now? It seemed to shift, right? The tension seemed to shift from how Newcastle are in meltdown, they're in crisis because Rafa's leaving at the start of the season. Now everyone wants to bum Newcastle United, but is this because what's going on behind the scenes?
Depends.
Well, apart from Paul Merson.
Depends.
Yeah, Ian Wright today on.
I mentioned this morning. I went, why is Ian Wright all of a sudden trying to befriend Newcastle United and befriend the fans?
Things were better than what? What did you say? Stoke, West Ham, West Brom.
You'd rather be Newcastle United than West Brom and Stoke for standing still. Yeah. But not so long ago, he was slating Newcastle United fans.
It's because of his mates, wasn't it?
It's because, for me, with certainly the media, and to be honest, even some fans, you just got to win a few games, right? Just win a few games, and all of a sudden, everything's rosy. I always remember, right, when Pardew, you know, when we were doing really well, we finished 5th that season, but we had started really well.
Oh, that's 6 months.
And they had an interview. They had an interview on
November.
We were great in
November.
What was the big?
What was good in November?
The big fat lad who. He's retired now, but he always in the matches.
Mick Martin.
Is it Mick Martin?
Mick Martin.
Mick Martin did an interview with Pardew, and I listened to it.
Is Mick Martin? Radio 5? No, not him.
He came on the pitch.
Mick Martin.
He came on the pitch.
Mick Martin was.
He's not called Mick Martin, is he?
Radio Newcastle commentator, and he retired last season.
Is he actually called Mick Martin?
Mick Martin?
You sure?
I'm absolutely positive.
100%.
1,000,000%.
You fucking better be right.
There'll be another $5 you owe us after that last game.
Mick Martin.
He's not called Mick.
You owe me a $5 anyway.
No. We know. You just went off on some different tangent. We were talking about one thing. He's still trying to back out on that $5.
That Brighton thing.
The fact that Bruno fouled.
Oh.
If you
he thought it was Kris. No, I don't know what he was on.
No, we were talking about the goal. You started talking about something else. Yeah. We were still having this conversation about the goal. And we said it was Bruno, and you went, no, it wasn't. It was him.
No, I've switched back.
Knockout. He said it was knockout.
No, I said it was
that's because he was. That's because you were talking about something totally different, totally separate to the conversation we were having around the table. You just had one of your other senior moments.
I thought you were a pint, you'd have shit.
Cry baby.
Yeah. That's a Palace fans.
Is it? Oh, 4 Palace fans, you mean?
And Bournemouth.
Well, anyway, back to what I was saying.
Bournemouth? Do you call them Bournemouth?
Bournemouth?
What do you call them?
Oh, what does Souness call them again?
Bournemouth?
He calls them Bournemouth, doesn't he?
I
call them Bournemouth, but he calls them Bournemouth. It's quite funny.
Do you call it Plymouth?
Plymouth. Plymouth.
Where were we?
Mick Martin's interview
South
with Pardew,
Coast, apparently.
And they banged on about, had phone-ins, and there was people phoning in going, God, I can't believe what you've done with this like French Revolution, and where have you been finding these players? Pardew was praised for about 2 hours on that radio show about how well the club is now.
Oh, is that when Pardew and Carver went and do the interview you talking about?
I might have been Carver as well, but they were saying how good the recruitment was, the process, we were buying good bargains, money was spent really well. Everything
But it was at that time.
Because you're winning games of football.
Yeah.
That's all it takes. Literally, they could be behind the scenes smashing each other up or getting pissed every Friday and Saturday. But if you're winning games, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But it's when you start to lose, that's it. You've had it. It doesn't matter how good you are doing behind the scenes. When you start to lose games, people will call you out. And Ian Wright and all of these other people are the same. Unfortunately, they just look at the result on a Saturday, like, oh, they've won again. They're doing really well. But it doesn't mean that when you're playing badly, it means that your behind the scenes activity is any different. You're still doing what you can do. Do you know what I mean? It's just, I don't know. It just is what it is. But for me, at the minute, obviously we're doing really well. Of course we are. We've just got to calm and just keep pushing along and keep going along. Because there's going to be some games like Burnley.
I think
it's gonna
doing
be a tough
really
one.
well's. I think we're flattering.
I think we're doing really well to be where we are.
Because
Above
I think
Arsenal and Everton and-
getting results like we did at the weekend is great because
Yeah.
it never looked like coming because
3 years ago we would have lost
struggled. It would have been a 0-0, but it was that. And I was sitting at the match and said whoever gets a goal here wins this game.
I think
because
I said
it
that.
was that type of thing. But how many times have we been bitten on the arse in games like that where
The one that
it's
stands out
been
in my head
Tell
terrible
me
a
I've got
goal
one.
or
is the one where
Wonder if he says the
Cleverly
same.
scored that header.
That's the Everton game.
Boxing
God,
Day,
oh,
that was
Boxing
awful.
Day.
That wasn't.
No, it was a nighttime game. It was under McLaren though, wasn't it?
It was not Boxing
It was
Day.
around Christmas, wasn't it?
It was Boxing Day.
It
That
wasn't
was
Boxing
Christmas.
Day. Wasn't
It
Boxing
might
Day.
have been,
It definitely wasn't. I didn't think it was Boxing Day. I could be wrong. I'll stand
It
corrected.
was.
like.
It was around Christmas. I
We
know
did
that.
not deserve
Nah.
that. We played really well. I thought
It's
we did
games
really well
where
that
you.
game, you know.
That's where it's even harder to
It's-
swallow. Is where
that
you,
was-
my
you know
sister-in-law's-
you've been the best
my
player on
sister-in-law's
that pitch.
fella is from Australia, and he came over at that time.
Aye.
He was living in London, and he came up for Christmas and that. And I'll take you
Ah,
to the
you've
game.
been up for a couple of games
He's been
other
up for
than
a
that,
couple. I
wasn't
went, I'll get you a ticket for the game. I bought my ticket. I went, that's your Christmas present. It was one of the worst games, right, we've ever been to. Then
It was Boxing Day, was it? Bloody hell.
Cleverly, it must have been the 88th minute or something.
Wait,
really late, he just nuts
It was
it.
later than that.
Well,
He was on the edge of the box.
Well, it
and he
just
nuts
looked
and
over
just
everybody,
and
didn't
I
it?
went, oh no.
We didn't deserve that, you know. We did not
I've
deserve
just
that. I remember that game so well.
I've just remembered an even worse one.
Oh.
Leeds last season.
Oh, that was a sick
I
man.
can't even remember that one.
There's one I remember and I didn't even want to say.
The
it 'cause it was that
106th minute of
You're
injury
talking about
time.
Adam Johnson, aren't you?
bad. Aye, that was really hard to take. That was really hard to take.
Which one?
The one when I think Sissoko won it.
Where you just had to bring him down.
That wasn't. It was
The four
double
players.
tried, but
We'll just leave this on till
Sissoko had a shot. I remember Sissoko shot, and the keeper tipped it over and won a corner. And I remember thinking, God, when he scored there, and then from that moment we've conceded, I could not believe it. I could not.
But that's what I'm
believe
saying.
it.
That is typical. We
Three-
very
and as I
very
said,
rarely get that
3
run
years
of
ago
green.
that we would have lost that game.
Yep.
3 years ago, I believe we would have lost that game because I always thought on that Pardew, and he used to say this as well. Not trying to be fairness on Pardew, but we used to lose games like that, and he would come up and say the players got out of control trying to bomb forward for a goal. And I used to find that the fans used to really get behind, and we used to just start bombing forward, and we used to get caught every single time. That's bad management because we couldn't. It's bad management. I'm not saying it's
already been
you are
called
pushing
actually
on
apologies
trying
once.
to.
You don't want to be
Jesus,
called
aye.
Pardew, apologies, mate.
I'm not an apologist.
But he
no,
would
I
bring
don't mean
on.
that. I
He'd
just
bring
mean-
on the likes of Sammy on the left wing because
Yeah, he would,
fresh pair of legs to get.
No, first you bring on left back.
But we'd be trying to win the game.
Aye, but then we'd
The
get
difference
caught.
is
Rafa wouldn't do
we
that.
didn't. So I think we did that on Saturday, but we've got that now that strength and solid unit at the back that even if we are pushing on to win it, you've still got them for,
I think
and
the
probably
difference here
one of
is-
the midfielders sacked.
Is Pardew probably thought, I've got to win this game. And I think Rafa thinks, if we draw it, it's not the worst.
Well, that's what he always says. You don't lose.
Yeah.
Sometimes you can't win, but you don't lose. And that's
He's
the
right.
way.
He's
But
right.
that's what I mean by bad management. I'm not a Pardew apologist or whatever. Is that Pardew used to come off and blame.
no, innit?
Sometimes blame the fans. Used to say, well,
Oh,
the
he
fans,
used to have it.
Oh, he blamed
the
it. Blamed
fans,
science once,
the
didn't he?
fans got up for it so much that I think that affected the players in regards to trying to get the win, and we ended up losing.
Pardew
And I was
was-
But
like,
that's why we
Can you not
turned against because
remember-
he had an excuse for everything.
Oh, he did.
Instead
He
of
did, I
just
know.
coming out and saying we were shite or whatever, he would blame everything and
blamed
everybody
the
except
Notting
himself.
Hill Carnival for one of the defeats,
He
man.
did.
Science, the wind.
Arsenal when we played them or something, they got stuck in
he's-
traffic.
He blamed
Spurs.
all sorts.
Spurs it was, wasn't
Is that
it?
when the game
Spurs,
got...
aye.
We were hoping it was get delayed, but it didn't.
Aye.
He's blamed so much. I was expecting him to blame me at one point.
Aye. Oh, he did. I'm
When I
not saying
started
yes,
that
no.
Pardew Vines.
Do you know what's funny
That
thing
was
as well?
brilliant, that.
Well, Rafa, you know, every time you watch his... I didn't even watch some of the after ones now because you know what's coming with Rafa, don't you? Like, it's just the same. Some guy, because we all got back and we all got our pints and the telly was on, And everyone, when he was talking and went up, and there was about four like proper old blokes went past him. I don't know why I even bother. That's the same thing every week. And it isn't it? We work very hard. And you just got to work hard. That's all he ever says. Like, he doesn't give nothing away, does he?
Nah.
Ever.
Nah.
And he's done that all his life, except one time when he had the fact sheet.
But what I love about Rafa is when he talks, everyone's quiet.
Oh, aye, because he commands that respect. And I imagine that's what he's like.
Just because he's got a quiet voice.
He has got a really quiet
It's
voice.
someone that I know that works, obviously, at the ground and that, and he has dinner with the players and that. He says, like, when he speaks, it's like, no one moves, like.
Yeah,
no one
I'm not
moves.
surprised.
And that's great, obviously. It's
That's just, like you say, it's
a bit like a Bobby Robson thing.
Respect thing.
Bobby Robson, like, I always remember, I don't know if you've seen that, Bobby Robson, there's what, Just Call Me Bobby, with Gary Lineker. Have you ever seen that?
Yeah.
And he has dinner with him, doing it, and you see
Brilliant,
that same respect where, like, he stands with his eyes and be safe, have a good weekend, and everyone's just, like, sitting waiting to go. It's a good crack, that. I reckon on McLaren, they would have been just pointing things at him.
Yeah.
Literally pointing the food at him and that. You know?
That was the problem towards the end of Bobby's reign, though, is that respect and behaviour changed and went away.
Because of a couple of arseholes.
Yeah.
That's true.
So,
Which hopefully this book will tell, I hope. But anyway, sorry,
It does.
I've digressed, as I say.
Right.
but
Shall we get into the questions?
I don't think we even talk about the goal, have we?
Nah, that's what I was just thinking. To be fair though, to talk about the goal, it was one of the...
How high did he get up?
I've just got one question, right?
Right.
Oh, sorry.
You talk me through this goal. Because I didn't realise what happened in the goal until he told us.
He didn't realise what happened.
No.
So we got a corner
Right.
from
Richie takes a corner.
from
yeah.
that corner.
Right.
Lisa Milburn
Uh-huh.
swings it in towards front post. Merino just comes flying over, goes about 3 mile up in the air, flicks it kind of slightly behind him to the.
This is where I don't think that happened.
Didn't?
Totally did.
Didn't. I'm telling you how that did not happen.
Did
Palace player headers it
on
off Marino's
aye,
head.
onto Merino.
Then it goes in.
Aye.
Did it?
I
Aye.
swear to God.
Because I watched it when I was having and I went, God, he's headed that onto him, and someone went, don't be
Aye.
stupid. And I went, but he has, like.
Marino flicks his head to try and header it,
Yeah.
but he misses the ball. Palace player heads it off Marino's
Aye.
flying head.
Into
It
the
goes
goal,
in the
aye. Yeah, that's
it goes
what I
over, like, just loops the keeper.
Yeah,
Hit the
it's
crossbar.
like it went
Hits
like
the crossbar,
Well,
goes
kind
in.
of.
just where it looped in that way, didn't it?
And this is when I said I was
But
at
he
the
was
bar.
like Merino
Oh,
was
he
like
was.
about.
He was. But what I said to someone, I was at the bar getting me drink, and I said to someone, I went, you know.
So somebody flicked it on the near post when they're players.
No.
No, he's the person that's
That was marking him. That was marking
Merino
him. Headed the ball
heads it
away,
off
and it
him.
hit his head and went in. Like, looped in. And I says, you look at the Yosselu goal against Liverpool.
Again.
It's unbelievable.
You look at the Yosselu goal against Liverpool, which he tackled him and it went off him. And you have to be realistic. Like, I mean, you're a bit lucky. Like on two of them goals, you've getting 4 points. Where really you should have gotten maybe one obviously on Saturday. I said that and I got shut down. Someone kicked off. But anyway, I'm just being realistic. I'm only see and judge what I see. Well, lucky there, like, and that happens, doesn't it, when you're at the bottom though?
Yeah.
That you get that you don't get the rub of the green. You know what I mean? But it is what it is.
I think towards the end of the game when we did lift up that pressure, we did deserve
We really
to take that.
The
game.
last 15 minutes, I thought we played very well. We were absolutely all over them.
But as I say, just it needed that change because just things were just not working for whatever reason.
He changed it earlier than normal, which was good to see.
Have you got the goal there to show here? No. Adverts.
But we won.
Right, we'll get a couple of questions.
That was the saving grace.
We won. Great result.
It was brilliant. Went up to 6th, didn't we?
It was 6th.
Absolutely unbelievable, man.
I think it was
absolutely unbelievable.
Still 7th, aren't we?
Right, Mackie sends in
Unbelievable.
expectations for the rest of the season. I think we're probably the same as what we said last week.
15th.
Just keep grafting away. I said it in pre-season. If we can somehow manage to finish in the top half of the table, it'll be a fantastic season. I'll happily take that around the halfway to lower third.
If you're taking like from
I'd finish
10th
anywhere between 7th and 14th.
Right, I'd agree.
I'm just about staying up, so 16th, 15th. The reason why I don't want to finish in the top half, and this is a stupid thing to say, right, is expectation for the following season. So if you just say we finish 9th, a lot of fans are going to think, wow.
You've just been talking about we're going to get taken over and get £500 million to spend.
I didn't say that. I didn't. No, I did not.
You did.
Right, I'll explain what I said. I'll just calculate what I said. I said that I think them will be able to challenge the likes of Bournemouth being able to pay 18 million for a player, maybe 20 million. That's what I said. And the only reason
how much
why
does that add up to?
I could buy 2 players, 40 million.
38 million.
If we're finished 8th or 9th, I just worry that the following season, people are going to think, oh well, everyone's going to progress. Everyone's obsessed with this thing of like, if you finish 9th one season, you're obviously going to finish higher the next. Yeah. That is just everyone's opinion. Someone has to be shit. Otherwise nobody would fucking get relegated. Yeah. Someone has to be shit. So for me, if you finish 9th and we finish 12th the next season, everyone's going to be, that's the worst. We'll talk about my step. That's my opinion. So for me, this season, I said it the day when he been promoted, and I says, just stay up this season and then build from
there. But that's not saying you don't want to finish.
Yes, and that's why I want to. Of course, God Almighty, I want to finish as high as we can. I'd love to finish 9th or 8th, but I worry then about the future. But for me, just stay in the division. If we finish 9th, cock out. If we finish 8th or 9th, cock out. It'll be the best season.
Is that going to be the title?
Can you imagine if Rafa can, honest to God, if we can finish 9th or 8th, 9th, 10th with that team? My God, it's unreal because we got relegated with a better team. Think of anyone tries to tell me the team that we got relegated with is a better team. Individually, is a better team than this one.
Individually, as players, you're probably right.
Has to be.
Well, that's where I was saying, and we said it at the time, that had Rafa have came in a few games earlier than he did, and we wouldn't have went down.
And on the flip side of all of that, when people say, "Oh, the Premier League's this and the Premier League's that," and blah, fucking blah, the bottom line is if you have players that are willing to listen, you have a good manager who organises them. You're alright. You'll be okay.
It's like that.
You don't have to.
It's like that everywhere in the world, but
but the 3 promoted teams aren't any pushovers this season. Like
no, they're not. And I still keep. And I said this about them last year.
Huddersfield are a bit.
But I said them in the Championship. Did you not say that? I said that in the Championship. They'll fall away. Yeah. They didn't. You know what I mean? And I didn't have to will this time. That performance against United was amazing, man.
But they've gone 4 games before that where they've done. Swings and roundabouts.
Sorry, I apologise.
Apologise to the camera right now.
I apologise. Man United.
You listen on a sheet, are you?
Yeah.
You got to spell as you're going to get fucking.
I do think, and it's going against Kenny what I've just said. Actually,
Pardew apologist. He calls Man United United. Let's fucking sack him. Get him off.
I hope that doesn't come across.
Anybody wants to come on the podcast?
I wouldn't worry about Pardew anymore. I would just worry about calling Man United United.
At Deka7.
What do you add so people kind of just sending you rather than me?
I'm trying to think what I need to reword so it gets me a point across right in case people go, that guy that said that about Ashley still pissed me off when he said that, you know. I was like, did you even fucking... it doesn't matter. Anyway, it doesn't matter.
Right. Do you want to show them this goal so you can watch it live on camera?
You can show us afterwards.
No, watch it now. Watch the signal go down now. This is Merino's goal.
You should have replay of it, really, to be fair.
Nah, Merino definitely just headed that straight.
Shelby giving it to Kabay. Was that not the greatest thing of the day, man? Well, apart from the goal. That was it. He did it to Bruno, remember when we scored? When he did it, people are on Twitter, man. I had not an argument, but a discussion.
Right, from that angle, you can see it.
Someone says it.
But from every other angle except that one, it looks like Merino just heads it straight in. It's only when you see it from the opposite side.
I bet there's so many people watching this now, did he not head that straight in?
I haven't seen that angle until...
I hadn't until just before I started recording it.
Someone was saying, Rafa will not be happy with that, blah-de-blah. Like, kicking off.
Did you see the amount of people going on about, he'll get banned for that? What's he going to get banned for?
People are off
again,
tits,
I had seen this as that...
Off the tits.
Kabay fouled Shelby.
Yeah.
And then they were both... Because you just seen it there as well.
Both
on the deck.
It's brilliant.
And Kabay appealed, but then the goal went in and he just went, So Shelby just went...
It's the best.
If you're a dickhead, you do that kind of thing.
Exactly.
He's a dickhead, isn't he?
Our dickhead. He's our bellend, and that is what I want to see.
It's like Joey Barton. Joey Barton would do all of that kind of thing every day of the week.
Probably did.
Yeah.
They've trained all week to win a game of football. They've scored in the last minute. And some little prick that should have been sent off and only breaking one of your players' legs.
Exactly.
Give him it.
Yeah.
Give him it.
And he'd be moaning on all game.
Hey, I loved it. I thought it was great. I didn't see it at the time, of course.
No.
But when I
it was when we were in
the
pub, didn't you? You went, have you seen this? And I was like, what's cutting on there?
Get in there.
Right, next one. Young Mono's back. He sends in, what actually has to happen for an opposition player to get sent off against us?
Fucking bring on a machete or something like that, or
I was trying to work out when I was having a drink. After that, obviously that result, he should have been sent off. Can you tell us another couple that should have been sent off?
We talked about one just before, Harry Kane.
Harry Kane. Yep, I'll give you that one.
Yeah.
And I'm not meaning this just regarding the question. Sorry, I agree with the question. I'm just trying to think in my mind of ones that should have been sent off because I can't really think of that many.
But the thing, there will have been.
There's been a few this season.
Things where we've had the
Huddersfield player, Brighton player, Hamid, that scored the goal. That was a stamp on Yedlin again. Was it not Yedlin again?
Yedlin's been done. Yedlin's been done a few times.
I think you can see why that one didn't get given at the time. No, at the time.
At the time,
he didn't lift we're getting back months here, like, he didn't lift his foot up and
To be fair, he did get banned afterwards.
I think
But,
Eric Peters Stoke.
Didn't
The most blatant second yellow card in history.
Yeah.
Aye. Didn't
Most blatant yellow card.
didn't Lukaku do the same thing as Hamed just the other game? Was it Liverpool game?
He probably skipped a ban, did he?
Huddersfield was another game.
No, was it Man United Liverpool? Did he not stand on somebody?
No, he wiped out thingy on the right side of midfield. He absolutely took him out. He didn't get booked for it. I'm not saying it was a red card, like, but he didn't even get booked.
Call them United
I
again.
did I call him United again?
It was definitely it was the Man United Liverpool game. And
I think it was
hit
Lovren.
somebody.
Probably
and
Liverpool
he-
fans will be happy.
and then he stood on him.
Aye, that might have been your right. Yeah.
I think
fair
it was
though,
Lovren,
like,
and then
I
came
thought-
out and said he absolutely meant it.
The fact
But
that's-
that's never been mentioned. Or
I would like to know.
Because it's Manchester United. That's why I didn't.
I would like to know the rest of the teams, like, games on this, like how long they've gone without a red card.
Yeah, well, Man United.
They'll get one every other game then.
Yeah,
So
I
no
would
against
imagine
them.
you would think so. But the question's a great one. I mean,
100 games. I bet there's
that's
no one beating 100 games.
ridiculous,
Like.
that, isn't it? Really, when you
That's
think
3
of it.
seasons.
That is
What was the same with penalties? Didn't we go like 3 bloody
Yeah.
3 years without getting a penalty?
We went about 20 years without scoring a corner, didn't we? From set piece. It was like so set piece. Now we can't stop.
Just can't stop.
But when you've got something that can deliver a ball in, and the people that can attack it,
That's what's important.
because Cabaye could always deliver a ball,
It's about
but
who wants to attack it. That's
you had
what's
bloody
important.
Williamson and Colaccini trying to get on the end of it.
Yeah. And other Sissoko's and Benny's and
Fucking racist. Now he's a homophobe.
shit. I'll get wrong for that now.
Dear me.
Bloody hell.
Hey,
Oh
come
my
on.
God!
Can I just say Deka's views are
We're gonna have to get the beat button in there.
totally individual to himself.
Well, no. Like, you know,
Right.
Not to be
We've
associated
got the
with
usual suspects. Rob Fisher sent in. Would any of you have Townsend back? Also, asking 2 questions. Also, do
we're
you
getting
think
greedy.
Murphy can be a success?
We've talked about that.
Without
before,
Townsend
haven't
back right now, not a chance in hell. Because what we've got right now are better than what he is.
we? I think as an impact player,
I'd have him.
Would you?
I'd have him.
I'll put him in my 10.
To be fair though,
I'll put his now to.
he's had a poor start the season. The last couple of games, but you can say that for whole of the Crystal Palace. He showed on Saturday what he's capable of doing. Had he had better players in and around him,
Had a striker on the
and
pitch.
tried not to do it all of himself, he would have caused us a lot of problems.
Yeah, I agree. I'd have him 100%.
Would
I
you?
honestly would.
I would.
And I still think, even though I know that he's burnt bridges and blah, 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 I still think he's the type of player, I think, no matter who he plays for, whatever shirt he's got, he just gives that
gives all,
performance.
yeah.
He just gives that relentless, I'm going to get at you, I'm going to get at you, I'm going
Right,
to
we'll
get
get
at
a yes or no for his follow-up question. Will Murphy be a success?
you. Based on how,
Newcastle.
well, 10 years is a hard one, but if you mean this year, no. But maybe longevity, yes.
I don't think he'll have a career at Newcastle.
Bye-bye, 12 million.
Changed your tune, haven't you?
I know.
I think that was the negative one.
You've changed your tune.
I've always said Murphy. I don't think he's good enough.
I think you need to re-watch some of these.
No,
podcasts.
I think we said that I would give him a chance, like, but I don't think he'll ever come good at Newcastle United. I don't think he's ever going to get a chance to come. Good at Newcastle United.
I think his time will come.
I think we're both the wrong brother.
Well, that's been mentioned a few times, hasn't it?
I didn't think Rafa's that stupid. McLaren or Carver might have done that, but I didn't think Rafa would have bought the wrong brother. Like.
Both Grant Hanley.
Dog days, Mark, dog days.
I stuck you in, didn't I?
That game, oh my
forget it.
god! I still
I
have
hit the bin when I come in, man, when I seen that performance.
cold sweats remembering that performance.
Right,
man.
Daryl Mitchell sends in. Oh, hang on.
He really was the worst.
He's got a few questions.
I
Right.
think that kid has got something. He's shown it in the time that he was at Norwich. He needs minutes on the pitch.
He's not going to get it.
He'll not get it in a run while Richie is still in a rich vein of form that he is. That's he's going to be
fair,
one of the
though,
first
Richie
names
did
on
go
there.
through a bad patch last season, around Christmas time.
He did, but
No one can
he
play well for 30
continued
games.
to
No one can.
graft
You've gotta
and
have
graft and graft. He worked his arse off to get himself out
It'll
of
only
that
be
bad
an
spell.
injury that'll, by the way.
He's not going to get dropped to bring him in,
even
unless
if Richie plays
it's
shocking, he'll never get dropped.
cup games and
But then
stuff
again,
like that. He'll
say
bring him in.
like Richie gets 5 yellow cards, he gets like banned for a game. Murphy comes in, he has an absolute blinder, 2 assists. Rafa Benitez, you know for fine well he could go next game. You're not playing. Richie's back in.
Hold on. What's happened with Shelby? What's happened with Merino? What's happened with Clark? What's happened with
That's what I
Lascelles?
mean.
He hasn't brought them back into the team.
I was surprised.
He hasn't. Merino still hasn't played. He obviously he's came on. He has not started the game since he was out.
The likes of Mitrovic. When Mitrovic scored goals, he's gone away and he scored goals for Serbia. Then he comes back to Newcastle United. He doesn't start next game. If he played well, no one knows what Rafa's thinking.
I was surprised Merino didn't come back in, because I know we all said because he had been away on international under 21s, maybe that's why he didn't play against Southampton. Then he had a full week with them and didn't play him.
So do you think he's going to be back in against Burnley?
Not based on Saturday's performance.
I think he will be.
Probably, yeah. I think
he should be.
It'll be Shelvey and
he should be.
Merino.
I actually think Perez won't play.
Do you not think he'll go all three?
I think he'll go three.
He was saying earlier.
That's what I think he'll do. Yeah.
And to be fair, I think that's probably been our strongest recent performance when he played all three.
Were you shocked Clark wasn't on? I did think Clark would be back.
No, I wasn't shocked.
Well, again,
I don't get shocked by Rafa.
Lejeune hasn't done a thing. Well, obviously by that stupid tackle for the penalty, but that whole game he was great.
Did that car getting pinched?
The thing is, every time we talk about this, people, if you listen back to the audio, you don't hear what's going on outside.
All right.
No.
Oh well.
Mental.
Next question.
Right, Daryl Mitchell Hill. Another one. He's a regular listener. Now Daryl.
He loves tweeting us, doesn't he?
He sent in like 3 tweets, so I'm going to have to try and figure out which order these come in. Right.
Does he not even put one of one?
Nah.
One of
Palace,
three.
I'm guessing this is a start. 3 Palace players were on Richie when he was on the ball to keep him quiet on Saturday. I'm worried more teams might try this, or you. My answer to that is no, because the 3 players out of the game.
I hope more people, yeah. I hope more teams do that.
11 of them on.
Yeah.
Right.
Give us other people space.
But hang on, he follows this up with Hayden scored v Southampton, Merino did v Palace. Who do we start v Burnley? Do we drop Shelvey, who hasn't scored, or is he due a goal?
Goals, it doesn't matter. I know
he's due a goal because he keeps. He's had a few good efforts, hasn't he?
Shelvey will always be there, man. He'll always play, man.
Again?
He
didn't bring him back into the team.
Oh, that was just a tell. But let's be realistic. Everyone knew within a couple of days. He should play. You play your best players. You play your best player, and Shelvey is one of our best players.
Right, we've got 2 more. We'll quickly go through these.
Is that John Cena there?
John Cena, isn't he?
How did you see him?
He's doing.
Right, Herb sends in. Do you think our lack of injuries so far this season are down to actual improvements with the club fitness, or are we just being lucky?
Oh, Herb, man, wait, I can put a...
Fucking hell.
Where?
How are Herbs? What
was that question, sorry, again?
Do you think that we're being lucky with injuries, or do you think it's due to the club improving their...
I think you've always got to be lucky with injuries, don't you? But I think
I like
what you do in training and stuff like that.
I think it goes. I personally think it's a lot down to the medical stuff.
I'm a big fan of these African injuries. Like Mbemba was out for 3 months, and he was back after 2 games, and Atu was out for 3 months, and he was back the next game.
In African years, that's about right, isn't it?
Mental, absolutely mental.
Did you read did you buy the program or not? No. Well, anyway.
Neither do you. What are you talking about?
Well, I didn't buy. I get one.
You get it for free.
I get one. Anyway, every week now they're doing like
If you see him in the post seats, see
you sat with either Pardew or Ashley.
I'll be sitting with her shortly.
Say, who do you call Man United?
Anyway, the program has like an interview with someone from the club, so it could be like a groundsman or someone. This one was a person who.
Is it the steward that was the team at half time in the East Stand?
It wasn't him, no. This one was the medical staff. It was like the head guy of that, and he was telling them what they do now compared to what they used to do. And like it's so detailed, like it's just ridiculous. Like what they've got to do. They've got a tracker, a watch, right, of like that, so they know what time they went to sleep the night before. So when they're coming to training, they check the watch and they go, "Why did you go to bed at whatever time?" Oh, literally, I'm telling you, that is how detailed that he's got them. They have to eat certain meals Monday to Friday, so they gradually increase a certain vitamin or a certain whatever it is to give them more energy.
Well, they'll get more calories as it goes off.
Like just like you're talking like.
What day do they get the kebab?
Minute, Sunday because they're finished
after the match.
But like all of that, I think, has to help. Yeah. It surely does. I mean, so they've definitely improved that, the medical side of things, and also when you're doing well, and I've said this before, when you're doing well and you're winning games, everyone wants to play. When you start getting beat, people just, I've got a tight.
Well, not everyone. Still one striker that's often carrying injuries and knocks.
Well, if he's minute glass, I guess he can't help that. But yeah.
Right. Fast Cat Miles sends in this is the last question.
I wouldn't like to say that one, so I'd have a few.
Fast Cat.
You can't say it.
I've had a few. I can. He sends in, if you had the choice Which animal enclosure would you trap Kabay
I
in?
read this one,
An animal enclosure. Or does he need like a trap or just like a cage?
I think it means like a cage or a tank.
A tank?
I would go jellyfish. Just
Oh, right,
go
so
to
the
jellyfish.
animal's actually in the enclosure.
I'll
Right.
trust a jellyfish.
I'd
Oh,
like,
so you're talking like Ant and Deck thing, like jungle malarkey? Like,
no,
a black
No, I
pit
think
with,
we're just trying to like hurt him.
Oh, hurt him?
Yeah, we're
Oh,
trying.
just covered in nails?
just put him in a...
Nails on animals.
You'd
Oh,
have
animals,
to stick
oh,
him in...
sorry.
You'd still have to stick him in like a lion
Just stick
enclosure,
him in
wouldn't you?
like a cage of hedgehogs.
Okay, right, that's
You wouldn't put him in with like a panda, would you?
Pandas are vicious, man.
Pandas, they're bloody out of sleep half the time, aren't they?
Seagulls from Shields.
Oh, yes, I
With a bag of chips.
With a bag of
Oh,
chips. Or just put loads of pasties all over them.
that's a
Like tie them
shout.
with like lacquer bands.
That's a
Just
absolute
cover him in
shout.
Greg's
And just buy
bags.
them in and go
Like
like
what we
this.
should do, we should just get a full fucking flock of seagulls
Yeah.
in Greg's. But Kabay is the employee of Greg's, so he's dishing out the pasties of the
He'd be
seagulls.
just like, he'd be like, how many? Just be like,
Oh, I
Did you
just
see did you see there was another seagull shoplifting from Greg's in
Oh,
Shields the other day?
every week, man.
It like edges into and goes, I'm fucking banging. It's amazing. Isn't it? It's
Just
so
give a shit,
good.
just watch him. Next,
There's a gym for them down
Sweet.
there. There's definitely a gym. Have you seen the size of them, man? They've got chests like Tyson, man. It's
That's because they're out.
ridiculous,
It's
man.
because they have a diet of kebab, pizza,
Crisps and
Indians,
Greg's.
crisps, and Greg's.
I haven't got a chest like that.
The seagulls, the shields are absolutely vicious.
Unbelievable. One of them wouldn't move. You looked at us and went, you're moving. Like, I was walking down with the bin, I was like, oh shit. He just looked up and went, no, mate.
They're not seagulls. They're the proper the albatrosses, aren't they?
The
massive.
beasts. The absolute beasts.
Well,
Yeah.
my
So
ma,
that's mine anyway.
my ma was in Shields and she got hit in the neck by a seagull wing.
I'm going to sit me for it.
Honestly, she couldn't move her neck for about 3 weeks. She was fucking winding around like this. Right?
You're massive, aren't they?
And then the sister-in-law, she came out with a pasty and it nicked it out.
When I used to work in Shields in King Street, right, we used to always, like, there was always some people would sit on the benches and have pies and all that shit. And we used to sit and watch and know what was coming.
Wait.
Sure
Just
enough,
wait
on the
for it.
shoulder, got it off. Every
The
time,
fearless,
man.
aren't they?
Every time. In
Absolute
one of the
fearless.
lads, in one of the shops, he bought a pasty and he hid it with bicarbonated soda, just covered it in that, and then like left it in the street. The seagull goblet and one just
Then
exploded.
he exploded in the air.
Just
that
literally
bombshell
you just see
will
just
So racist, homophobe,
RSPCA.
and now animal abuser.
wasn't me that threw the pasty. I just witnessed it.
And worst of all, United. Right? On that bombshell will go on tonight.
Aye.
You're going to Burnley. Quick
Good night,
prediction.
God bless.
Just want to score because my battery's dying.
1-1
No, when I say quick.
draw.
Ooh.
1-0 defeat.
Fuck me. I'm going to go for 2-1 win.
Get up there.
Right. See you on the next podcast.
God bless.
We'll call it a night. Love you all.
Night, United.
I'll take me ring back.